UFC, the Sphere, UFC 306, whatever you want to call it, UFC Noche, has been officially announced. Sean O'Malley versus Merab is going to be headlining the card for this one. This is kind of going to be a Mexican orientated card, and there's a lot of controversy surrounding this card. A lot of people aren't too happy with it. I must say it's not the best card in the world, but I think it's also not terrible. It's poor enough, but it's not dreadful. So they have changed up the main card order, I believe. This is what it says on the UFC website anyway. They've added Irina Aldana, Raul Rosas Jr., and then they still have the Ortega, Lopez, Valentin Shevchenko, Alex Grasso. On the main event, Sean O'Malley versus Merab. I cannot fucking wait for this fight, man. They've gone with a Mexican orientated card, which is fine, you know what I mean? It makes sense-ish, kind of. I do kind of wish that they did a little bit different. Like, I was really hoping that we'd have like a Moreno on this card. Even fucking someone like Yair Rodriguez, he would have been a really fun guy to have this. And Brandon Royval fights a month later. I really don't understand why Royval isn't an open up the main card for this one. Now, maybe Yair Moreno, they can't fight, who knows? And then Royval, maybe he's injured now and needs more time. So things kind of like, you never really know why these guys aren't fighting. But damn, bro, like the biggest Mexican names in the sport aren't fighting on this card. Like if you had fucking Yair or Royval, and then you had Ortega, and then all of them are on it, like that's a fucking sick card. You know what I mean? I understand the heavy Mexican orientated kind of thing, but I don't understand why it's, you know, like they don't have more other fights. Do you know what I mean? Like during the UK card, there were so many UK fighters, but there was also different kind of fighters as well. You know what I mean? A lot of people are kind of pissed or salty or kind of confused as to why we're not getting Max Holloway versus Ilya Topuria on that as well. If they had Holloway Topuria as the main event and then O'Malley versus Merab as co-main, it didn't matter who was on the rest of the card. I would have been fucking so pumped regardless. Obviously, I think the biggest fight outside the main event is Ortega versus Lopez. This was booked a while ago. I still think Brian Ortega is going to win this fight. Diego Lopez, he's a very first round orientated fighter, I believe, and Brian Ortega's, you know, a fucking dog. And you know, the Yair nearly finished him in the first round. I get it, but the dude's never been finished in the first round. Do you know what I mean? And I think Diego Lopez. I don't think Brian Ortega's actually ever been finished apart from the stoppage against fucking Holloway. You know, he's never actually been finished during the fight. I think he's going to beat Diego Lopez. I've always kind of thought that, and you know, Dan Ige took a round off him on like 6 hours notice, which is fucking insane. So, listen, that's going to be a good fight. I'm happy. I was expecting that to be on this one. Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko, like this headlined a fight night on its own. The last time they fought, as a co-main on this massive fight card, was meant to be huge. Like Dana White saying this is going to be the greatest combat event of all time. I do think the fact that it's in the Sphere is going to make this way better. Do you know what I mean? But I would have liked to seen, like I said, the Yairs, the Morenos, the Royvals, like that kind of stuff. Irina Aldana, like no one cares, man. No one cares. Raul Rosas Jr. has kind of lost his hype. He'll be good to get on there, do you know what I mean? You kind of have to have Raul Rosas Jr. on there. But there's only really two banger fights. And like the main event, O'Malley versus Merab. Merab could easily stink that up. Do you know what I mean? He could easily just go out there and fucking boring decision. I don't think he will, though. I think Sean O'Malley is going to fucking starch Merab. I think he's going to absolutely snipe him in this fight. I just got finished rewatching Cejudo versus Merab. Cejudo didn't nearly chin him, but he nearly knocked him down in the first round. Sharp left hook from Cejudo. You know, he's been knocked out before. I believe Ricky Simons knocked him out. He's cracked him and nearly finished him bad in the first round. I watched that fight, and you know, all these people, as good as they are, Sean O'Malley is possibly the greatest striker in the sport at the moment, apart from maybe Alex Pereira. One thing people sleep on with O'Malley is his insane footwork and stance switches. He could do from every angle. The way he's setting up his shots, his footwork. Even Aljamain Sterling said like this dude's footwork was insane. And I think O'Malley's, as good as his like boxing is and his sharpness and the way he's able to fucking snipe his opponents, I think if you really look at how he's setting things up, It's fucking insane. Even when he fought Sterling, he took that step back to let Aljo come into the space, moved in, and then hit him with the right hand when Sterling was moving forward, opened up, picture perfect right hand. And I just think Merab isn't as good as Aljamain Sterling, to be quite honest with you. I think his striking's fairly basic. I think he relies on his heavy cardio. Now, obviously, Merab is a nightmare matchup stylistically for O'Malley because the blueprint to beat O'Malley is like take him down, because no one's going to be able to stand with this guy. I don't believe that. Look at Peter Yan, who was meant to be one of the best strikers in the world at the time. He turned into a wrestler against O'Malley. Obviously, he had success on the feet as well, but I just think Merab is there's no way. He's saying he's going to stand with Sean. You're not lasting 4 minutes. Half a round I give Merab if he's going to stand there with Sean, not shoot a takedown. Because I just think Merab's so susceptible to get hit. And nobody is going to snipe you like O'Malley's going to hit you. So I just think Sean's going to find that chin. I think he's going to make work of him. And I'm going to go with like a second round KO. Kind of similar to Aljo, or even first round, because I think Merab is way more hittable than Aljamain Sterling, to be quite honest with you. You see Sterling when he got knocked out by Marlon Moraes. Like, he kind of just leaned into it. Like, Aljo's got decent defense on the feet. Obviously, you're kind of worried about the takedown with Aljo because he's got such a submission threat that it's in the back of your head. But Merab, I don't think Merab has any submission threat to O'Malley, to be quite honest with you. I do think Aljamain Sterling is a harder fight than Merab. I just think Merab's chin is there. I think O'Malley's going to find it. His switching from stance, unorthodox to southpaw, it's going to give Merab a lot of difficulties. And if Merab cannot take O'Malley down, let's say Sean just breaking the clinch every time, Merab is fucked. He's absolutely fucked. Peter Yan is had the most success with the grappling department against Sean O'Malley, so he is susceptible to getting taken down. But I also don't think Merab has great control time. You know what I mean? He's reliant on just spamming takedowns, getting you tired. Sean O'Malley literally just went 5 rounds high pace against Cheeto. Cheeto doesn't gas out either, ever. Do you know what I mean? And Sean took him 5 rounds, beat the fuck out of him the whole time. Went an insanely high pace 3 rounds against Peter Yan. He did look tired at the end of that, but like I said, insanely high pace. And Merab obviously has way better pace than Yan. Like, he gassed Yan out, but I just think Sean's going to be too much of a fucking sniper for him. I think he's going to find that chin early. I think he could crack Merab early and then maybe finish him in the second or finish him in the first. I see just Sean getting him out there, to be honest with you. But this card, UFC and O'Shea, I don't think it's definitely not as good as it could be, but I don't think it's as shit as people are like giving it credit for. I do think it's going to be fucking electric because it's in the Sphere and all the. I'm really looking forward to it. The walkout's going to be fucking insane. Obviously, I'm not going to be there, but I'm looking forward to it. A great main event. I'm really happy they went with this for the main event. If we had, like I said, more of the bigger Mexican names on this card, they might be able to make the card. They might. Who knows what the story was with it. But if they just had them, like a Royval opening up the main card, and then you could have even done Yair versus even an Emmett, to be quite honest with you. I know people say, oh, we'll do fight not long ago. It was like a year and a half ago, but Emmett's coming off a win, Yair's coming off a loss. I wouldn't have even been too mad, considering featherweight is kind of clogged at the moment. Obviously, Arnold Allen versus Yair makes sense, but obviously, Arnold literally fought like 2 weeks ago, so he wouldn't have been able to make that card, I don't think. But kind of dogs like that, and then Amir Albazi versus Moreno just before Valentin Shevchenko, or even before the Ortega card. These would have been fucking banging matchups. But then again, you don't know why they're not on it. They could be injured. They might not be able to fight. Stuff like that. So, listen, it's not a bad card, but it's not a great card either. I do think the main event is carrying it heavily, and I do think the UFC are fucking hoping Sean O'Malley wins this fight, because we're at a stage in the UFC where we've never had more boring champions in the sport. Now, there are mad entertaining champions, but now that fucking Bilal Muhammad is the fucking champion. The sport is just like, it is in a worrying state. Like, John Jones, a heavyweight, he's just going to fight Stipe and then move on. Obviously, real ones know Tom Aspinall is the champion of that division. John Jones is just, he's just there. So heavyweight's not active at all. Jones is going to fuck off after that. Thank God we have Alex Pereira, you know what I mean? But even like Dricus and Bilal, Islam, he kind of is a little bit inconsistent with fighting. twice a year, something like that. Obviously I think Islam's very entertaining, but just want to see him fight more than you know. Pantoja's such a fucking boring champion. He had that fucking banger fight Moreno, but like I just don't think Pantoja's too entertaining. And if Merab gets the belt, Merab has such a shit fighting style. He's just not entertaining in the cage. Whereas Sean is one of the most entertaining fighters, one of the best fighters to watch. Teeps to the body. That's going to be something else as well, but he's got to be careful in case Merab catches them as well. So I'm just praying Sean wins, because it opens the door for if Corey beats Umar, or even like an Umar fight, because that's could be the casuals, McGregor versus Khabib. Do you know what I mean? Or even moving up to fight Ilia Topuria as well, or Max Holloway, whoever has the belt. Fucking so many options if Sean has the belt. But let's get through Merab, and I think he will. But all in all, UFC Sphere could be better, could be worse. Let me know what you think of this card below. Thanks for watching.